Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Dear students, inshallah today we will be seeing about lymphatic system in our body. So in the last class we saw about blood groups, and in this class inshallah we will be seeing about lymphatic system. So when you see the blood groups, last class we saw that we have a blood group system called as ABO system, and we saw many things. We saw about blood transfusion, which is giving blood to a person. The one who gives is called as recipient, and one who receives it is called as donor. And we saw about antibodies and antigens that are present on the membrane of RBC, red blood cells. And then we saw about the universal donor, that is AO group, because it does not have any antigens present in it. And next we saw AB group, blood group. It is universal recipient because there are no antibodies to fight against the antigens, so it can accept any blood group. That you have to remember. Blood group O is the universal donor and blood group AB is the universal recipient. Now inshallah in this class we will see about lymphatic system. So lymphatic system, as we told, there are blood circulation, and also the other system is lymphatic circulation. So it's also a circulatory fluid and it flows in the lymph vessels. Okay, lymphatic system contains lymphatic organs. Okay, and you have lymph cells present. Through that lymph fluid is circulated. And what's its property? It looks light yellow in color. Okay, unlike blood looks red in color because of hemoglobin presence, which is a red color pigment. Okay, so, and lymphatic system, unlike blood, it flows only in one direction, from tissues to the heart. That you have to remember. But blood, they flow in different direction, but lymphatic fluid, it flows from only one direction, that is from the tissues to the heart. There are cells called as lymphocytes. Okay, there are cells called as lymphocytes that are present in lymph. They eat up the germs and prevent our body from infections. That's the function of lymphocytes. Lymphocytes are the cells that are present in the lymph, and what do? Their function is that they kill the germs that are present in our body. Okay, the next one is that the function of lymph, it retains the proteins and fluids from circulation to tissues. Okay, so in the circulation there are proteins and fluids present, so they are taken up to the they are returned from to the tissues. And the next topic is about disorders related to circulatory system. If there are proper function, then there is no disorders, but if there are improper function, what happens? There are some diseases that happens in the circulatory system. The first one is heart attack. You might have heard about heart attack. So like all other organs, heart also needs nutrients and oxygen. Okay, so the arteries which are supplying the heart, okay, with blood, when the uh, when they become thick, okay, the arteries, due to age or faulty diet, the improper diet that contains excess of fatty food, if the arteries they become thick, okay, so normal artery, if they look like this, okay, if they look like this, then normal blood flow is happening. But due to age or due to a lot of excessive fatty food and fat accumulates here, then what happens is that there will be difficulty in the blood flow, and so that the heart they cannot beat in proper rhythm. The heart cannot beat properly, so that leads to heart attack. So there is I told about the electrocardiogram, which is a device which is used to measure the heart rhythm. So the abnormal heart beat can be detected through ECG. And the next disease is anemia. If in our blood if there is decrease in the hemoglobin level, what happens is that anemia happens. Okay, that condition is called as anemia. So in our blood we have RBC, and in the RBC you have hemoglobin, which is a red color pigment. When it falls down to a certain level, okay, when that level is decreased, then that condition is called as anemia. So what this will make, if a person has anemia, it makes the person weak, okay, that you have to remember. It makes the person weak and they look pale in color. If a person normally has a good amount of hemoglobin, they don't look pale. I hope you understand what you mean by pale, okay. Like a kind of if a person has normal red pigment in his blood, then he will look normal, like how a different person look different in color, but they look normal. But if there is a decrease in the hemoglobin level, that is red color pigment, so the skin, it looks pale in color because of reduced amount of redness in the skin, okay, due to the red pigment. And they look inactive, okay. So how can we remove the anemia? So we have to take foods that are rich in iron, like you have eggs and you have spinach and all the other things. The next disorder is leukemia. So it is the blood cancer. If the bone marrow in our body makes excessive WBCs, white blood cells, and they make few red blood cells, then this leads to blood cancer. And the next disorder is hypertension. You might have heard about hypertension, blood pressure, high blood pressure. Some people, they might have this disease. It is common in India to have high blood pressure, especially among the old people. So it leads to headache and dizziness and fatigue. Search the meaning for these two words, dizziness and fatigue, in the dictionary. It's almost similar to kind of weak, the person cannot do things in active manner, okay. So the normal blood pressure is for a person is 120/80, which we saw before about the blood pressure. So if the person does not have normal blood pressure level, then that I mean the high blood pressure, the blood pressure rate will be high. And how can we uh, cure high blood pressure? We have to take proper diet, and exercise helps, and medicines for high blood pressure, and also tension free mind, okay. We should not stress out, especially as Muslims. We should not stress out, we should have tension free mind, okay, to cure from high blood pressure, or to protect ourselves from high blood pressure. And the next one is uh, respiration. So we can live without food for several days, okay, but without breathing we cannot even uh, live for short while. So the breathing, it provides oxygen to the cells of our body for oxidation of food. The food is processed by oxidation, and so that the energy is produced from through the food, and they are supplied to cells for various activities in the body. So first we will see about respiration in plants. Respiration in plants. Plants do not have any special respiratory organs, that you have to remember. Humans, we have lungs, that's a special respiratory organ, but and also we have heart, okay. You can see here, okay, heart was there, okay. Anyway, lungs is the special respiratory organ for us. For plants, they do not have any special respiratory organs. So then how respiration happens? So you can see, I will draw here. Let's say this is the soil level, and this is the plant root here, okay. And the root, it will have root hairs present on the root, okay. So in the soil, what happens, the oxygen um, from the air, they are trapped in the soil. Some amount of oxygen, they are trapped in the soil. so they'll be present inside the soil. Now these root hairs, they take up the oxygen. Okay, they are diffused into the root hair. From there, uh, it goes to the roots, and the carbon dioxide that are given out, they are similarly diffuses out through the roots, okay, through the root hairs. And the next way is that stomata is a part that is present in the leaves. Remember stomata, you have to remember this word. They they opens to let in the oxygen, and they release carbon dioxide. Okay, this is during the night. Regularly they take up the carbon dioxide and release the oxygen. That's how in the daytime they do. Okay, so in the older parts of the roots or bark of woody plants, what happens, there are some tiny opening called the lenticels. So through this, oxygen reaches the inner living tissues and carbon dioxide moves out. This is for older parts of the roots or barks of woody plants. And we saw we told here about stomata. Stomata is a part that are present in the leaves of the plant. So here you have two picture. Here the stomata is closed, the left one, and the right one, this picture, the stomata is open. So here there is a cell called as God cell. Okay, God cell. So when it is flaccid, that is when it's flat, the stomata it gets closed. Okay, but when this God cell they become turgid. Okay, like they like swell up. When they swell up, what happens, the stomata gets open. So the the god cell, they play important role in stomata's opening and closing for respiration. Okay, so here you can see god cells help in the opening and the closing of stomata. So when the god cells, they are filled up with water, here you can see they are filled up with water, so they become turgid. Okay, so the stomata gets opened, and when the water is not present in the god cell, then god cell become flaccid, that is flat. Then the stomata goes to its normal position of closing. Okay, this how uh, the oxygen is taken in and carbon dioxide is moved out from the plant's leaves. Okay, then minerals also play a role in making god cell turgid or flaccid. So not only the water, but minerals also play a role in making the god cell turgid or flaccid. Okay, inshallah in the next class we will see the breathing and respiration in humans. This chapter is a big chapter, so inshallah we will see slowly. You make sure that you listen carefully and take notes so that you understand things very well, inshallah. Barakallah fikum. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.